Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of When You're Delusional, You're Gonna Be on TikTok. I do hope you're gonna enjoy the video, so let's just get into it.
Unpopular opinion, dating for fun is not fun. Dating for fun has been so normalized, okay? And Fiji, and the long-term consequences should not overshadow the temporary enjoyment. The impact that casual dating has on future relationships is pretty negative. Take a second to think about it. By engaging in casual dating, you're normalizing non-committal behaviors. So it ends up becoming harder to transition into being in a committed relationship because you're so used to this non-committal behavior pattern. Your time is precious, okay? So spending your energy on something that isn't going to give you back any emotional or relational benefits is a waste of time. Now look, dating for fun is a recipe to experience significant harm. Constantly jumping from one relationship to another is devaluing your worth. It is a privilege, okay, for somebody to have access to your time, your body, and your energy. Casual dating does not find its place in the Bible for a reason. And think about it. What is the end goal when both parties are not seeking a deeper level of commitment? Like, what are you doing? Your time is valuable. Like, whenever a guy tells me I'm just trying to go with the flow or I'm just trying to have a good time, like, bye. I'm not a flow. I'm trying to have a good time. Casually dating primarily centers focusing on the present without much consideration to the future. And so I pose to you this question: is your future not worth prioritizing?
Of course it is, but let me ask you this. At what age you started prioritizing your future? Dating for fun is not fun? I think that's gonna be the name of the video. But of course it's not fun, and no one is dating for fun. No one goes on dates, spend time and money to just be on a date, finish the date, and then go back home. If you're going on dates to find a hookup or a one night stand, then that's a different story. And don't get me wrong, you do make sense and you make a lot of points. But what you're preaching no longer has any value today. If we compare it to the other advice that we hear every single day, not a lot of people are gonna be willing to listen to you. Let me show you the other message I'm talking about.
Girls, if you're single and you're looking for a man, you need to have minimum 5 men, not less. Because if you have only one, when you have with him cheeky, you become to be addiction of him. Five. I will teach you about.
That was the end of the video. I have no idea what she's gonna teach you. How to get 5 men, or how to do the cheeky, or maybe better, how to do the cheeky with 5 of them at the same time. Either way, this is pretty much every single dating coach on TikTok. Never date one man at a time. And guess what? People are more likely to listen to her than you.
So last week, a Chad told me that women are easily replaceable with cheaper alternatives like a house cleaner, a Smegs worker, and a nanny. So let's test his hypothesis and see how true it is. Number 1, a house cleaner. According to an article published on Thumbtack, the average cost to clean a 3-bed, 2,000 square foot house is $200. If you multiply that on a weekly basis, that's $9,600 a year. Number 2, a Smegs worker. A New York Times article from 2014 documented that the average cost to hire one was $150 an hour nationwide, which adjusted for inflation is about $190 an hour today. On the low end, you're going to want to hire one for a minimum of 2 hours a week to dull the pain of not being able to attract a woman on your own, so make that $18,000 a year. Number 3, a nanny. According to ZipRecruiter, the average cost of a full-time nanny is about $55,000 a year. And that's not including evenings and weekends, because most full-time nannies work, like most full-time jobs, between 8 and 10 hours a day. So Chad, if you want to go out and get a beer with your buddies and talk about how replaceable women are, you're going to have to pay extra for that. And let's not forget that in order to have a nanny, you need to have a child. And if you don't have a woman that's willing to give you one for free, you need to hire a surrogate. According to Investopedia, the average cost of a surrogate in the U.S. is $100,000. Now, if you add up all the above, Chad would have to make about $182,000 after taxes, which is about $275,000 before taxes, in order for him to afford all these quote-unquote cheap alternatives to a woman in his life. And my guess is that if Chad has enough time to be trolling me on TikTok, he's probably not busy enough to be making over $250,000 in a year. So Chad, who's the cheap one now?
I am, but for different reasons than the one you mentioned. I love how proud the two of them were at the end of the video. Mic drop. Hold on to your mic, you're gonna need it later. With the rise of single mother, it looks like you're gonna need a nanny more than I do. And I don't know about the one on the right, but the one on the left, that's exactly what she is. You added the surrogate just so you can make a point and add 100,000 more. Leaving that aside, we're left with $18,000 a year. Not only that, even I can afford that, and that's after you added me 2 hours of fun every week. Maybe I'm good with 1, maybe I'm good with 3. right? But even still, $18,000 a year is affordable, not to mention it's cheaper than taking you on dates and paying for all your needs and wants. Not to mention I don't lose half my stuff if or when you decide the grass is greener on the other side. And considering I cook and clean for myself, we're not even talking about $18,000. But even if I were to spend $18,000 a year, I get to spend it on whatever I want, and it's not gonna be someone as old or bitter as you are.
An unparalleled spike in divorces, but we're going to see an unparalleled drop in marriages, particularly remarriages. This video was so bang on. It talks about how women en masse are getting the ick when it comes to traditional relationships with men. And this isn't just about women are realizing their worth and raising their expectations. It's about women exiting the land of Oz en masse because we pulled the curtain back on the lie that a traditional marriage actually benefits a woman, because it doesn't. What over 4 decades of research has shown, what every woman intuitively knows, is that by every marker, men benefit from marriage more than women, financially, emotionally, physically. We're tired of carrying the emotional burden, the household burden, while men are still bringing to the table what they brought 5 decades ago. And the reason it's different this time is because forever women have suffered in silence and shame. Needing social media, women are now in conversation with one another, and we're realizing that our unhappiness in relationship isn't a me problem. I'm not asking for too much. I am not too much. It's a system problem. The system sucks because it was designed for men. So the fallout is we now have an epidemic of lonely, depressed single men. And until men wake up, step up, and help us change the system, nothing's going to change. It's not that women don't want partners. We just have the ick for the traditional model that never benefited us. So we're flourishing like never before. We're making our own money. We're in communities with other women. We're traveling the world. And they simply will not trade their singledom to go back to an ick system that never benefited them in the first place, because the ick is just too thick.
Ever since the first woman wrote an article about how men benefit from marriages more than women do, every single woman who cannot find themselves a relationship went with it like it's their anthem. Even if both of them in that marriage work, usually it's still the man who pays for everything. Even with a joint bank account, it's usually still the man who takes care of the financials, pays the bills and everything, and you pay for your nails, makeup, hair, and everything else. How exactly is it that makes sense for you that it's the man that benefits more financially in the marriage? Even if it's 50-50 everything in that marriage when we're talking about money, how does it still make sense to you that I benefit more financially? It's a system problem, a system that was created for men. So how is it that men suffer the most in a system created for them? Either way, because I made this long enough, in 2019, 61% of men still wanted relationship. That number in 2023 is down to 50%. And what you're obviously missing out on, Gina Too Much Woman, is that number is still dropping, and it's dropping fast.
You have to start treating life like a restaurant menu. When you go to a restaurant and you sit down and they bring the menu, you order what you want. The waiter literally takes your order and you don't obsess or attach over your food and over your order because you know that that's what's coming. That's what you ordered, therefore that's what you're receiving. You don't worry about how long it's going to take or how it's going to taste. You just sit down and wait till you receive it. If you start treating life just like a restaurant menu where you ask and don't obsess and don't attach, but just wait till you receive the things that you asked for, knowing that you will and exactly how you asked, your life will completely change.
Yeah, except it won't change for the better unless you have another adult paying for that restaurant menu. And this is the problem you're all having today when you're all lying on a couch thinking you deserve to get free stuff. If that's a motivational speech, you're just motivating yourself to fail. Your life is not like a restaurant menu. It's more like a buffet. You know what you want and you're gonna get yourself there and get it. There's nothing wrong with envision what you want, but if you envision it and then lay on your couch hoping you're gonna get it, you're up for failure. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is gonna be the end of the video. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.